It took me a while to find the place where Uber does its pickups at the Edinburgh airport. So much has changed since the last time I visited in 2020. One guy told me to go one way, which turned out to be the wrong way, and another pointed me to the location where the taxi cabs pick up their passengers. Luckily, I figured it out on my own. The flat I am renting in the city is small, but it is a prime location. I am on Upper Bow Street, almost a stone's throw from Edinburgh Castle. It is quite a climb to the 4th floor, and no elevator to use. The host told me it was on the 3rd floor, but since I'm American-minded, I have to add a floor in my head. This is because in Scotland, like the rest of the United Kingdom, the bottom floor is called the ground floor. Therefore, the next floor up would be the 1st floor, etc. I would have paid extra for such a beautiful view while standing to pee. I tried to rest for a while, having been awake for more than 24 hours. My attempt failed, however. I'm like a kid, I can't settle down. I'm back in Scotland and I want to get out and explore the city. I walked over to Newtown, found some dinner at a Wetherspoon, and visited the View Cinema to see Avatar, The Way of Water. After the movie, I walked back to the flat and tried to get some sleep. That first night of sleep was odd. I finally fell asleep at midnight, woke up at 2 a.m., and lay there in bed until I could fall back to sleep somewhere around 5 a.m. I finally woke around 9:30 a.m. and decided to walk to the bottom of High Street, the Royal Mile. One of the goals I set for this trip, on each full day that I stay here in Edinburgh, weather permitting, I will climb to the top of Arthur's Seat. I had to add the weather permitting part in there because this is Scotland after all. It is known for its wet weather, and the climb to Arthur's Seat can be pretty slippery when wet.
My feet hurt.
Oink. is a restaurant where they bring in a freshly cooked hog each day and just carve off of it. That's more or less the entire menu. You come in and decide what portion size you want. Piglet is the smallest, a medium portion is called oink, and the large portion is called a grunter. Next, you'll choose a stuffing, either sage and onion or haggis. My choice is always a grunter with sage and onion. I never pictured that this would become a needed tradition during my visits to Edinburgh. I feel that this is a brilliant business model and it would do quite well in the United States, that is, if it weren't for all the bleeding heart PETA activists who refuse to mind their own business. Maybe we could get some of them to cement their hand to the sidewalk, or is that just a move to stop climate change? I can never remember. Like every major city, Edinburgh has an endless supply of buskers and street performers for your viewing entertainment. Just remember to bring some spare change to tip them for their efforts. For dinner, I found the Theatre Royal Bar. I had a shepherd's pie and a glass of tasty elderflower soda. As I lay in bed that night, I looked out at the beautiful castle. I said a prayer and hoped that sleep would find me faster than it had the night before. The next day, I didn't leave the flat until somewhere just before noon. I was craving a traditional Scottish breakfast, minus the blood pudding and the haggis. Just around the corner above the famous Victoria Street, I found a restaurant called Scott's Kitchen. My meal was excellent. I would say it was a fancier version of a traditional Scottish breakfast. I'd like to go back and try their dinner before the end of this holiday. Speaking of the famous Victoria Street, I thought I'd wander down and record it for Krista, my nephew Jake's wife. Is niece-in-law a thing? Anyway, it has been said that Victoria Street was one of the inspirations for Diagon Alley in the first Harry Potter book. I'm not sure if this is true, but it's a great little street that winds its way down from the Royal Mile to the Grass Market. So this is for Krista,